Hello families, I am Leanne Sitt, and this will be the English presentation for Curriculum Night. I have the distinct honor of being your child's kindergarten teacher this year, and it is my hope that in the course of this short presentation I can give you a big picture overview of how we teach kindergarten here at La Academia. So welcome back. It's such a joy to be in person with these kiddos. We will talk about who I am as a teacher, what our goals are for learning and the ways that we teach that, what our days look like, how we determine proficiency, our classroom expectations, some notes for you to know about celebrations, health and wellness, and of course, important information about our upcoming referendum, how to get involved with the PTO, and how you can reach me. So, like I said, my name is Senora Sitt, Leanne Sitt. A little bit about me. I used to live in Argentina. That's where a lot of my Spanish really got fermented, and my passion for traveling and getting to know other cultures continued. These are my grandparents. I include them to kind of tell you a little bit about myself. I grew up not speaking Cantonese, even though my dad, who is here, is from Hong Kong. And I think that growing up not having the language to bridge that big divide and relying on gestures and facial expressions really was an impetus for my passion for teaching language now. And I think all of those using your hands experiences really helped me now to make myself understood to learners of all different language backgrounds. This is my husband. We love being outside. Other teachers on the team are Senora Perez and Senorita Clays. So a little bit about how we teach in a language immersion program here in kindergarten. First, our school has 3 pillars: culture, academics, and language. The academics are founded on the Minnesota state standards, meaning that in our program, even though it is dual immersion, we have the same learning objectives as every other school in our district. The way that we do that through language is, you will hear this a lot of songs, a lot of music that gets created for each unit. We will be using our hands, often using our bodies, so that we can be learning and connecting all the different parts of our brain. We explore different texts that feature our learning objectives, and then we get into like the expressive demonstrations of our learning through art and through writing. So we try to encourage a lot of different modalities. In math, we use a curriculum called Math Expressions. A huge foundational pillar of this Math Expressions curriculum is for students to be able to explain their thinking. So we often create partners, one with a microphone and one listening, for them to take turns explaining how they understand their math and to ask questions to clarify. In English, we start all of our instruction in Spanish, and then what we do is something called the bridge, where we ask students to tell us about what you were learning about later after the unit has concluded, and for them to express themselves in English, bridging the understanding of that key vocabulary and academic language, and then not relearning the same unit again, but instead doing an extension. So doing the foundational piece of learning in Spanish and extending it into English. This is in addition to our Sunday curriculum, which also helps with phonics and phonemic awareness in English as well. So kind of a classic SIT teaching style is I tend to combine language arts with every single thing that we're talking about. So for example, these are just some pictures of some learning that was done with science, talking about sorting, talking about our 5 senses. I hear leaves in the fall, or these are different ways that we can sort leaves. So while we are talking about science and math with sorting and the different seasons and 5 senses, we're also connecting it to literacy with writing and reading. Similarly, in social studies, for example, we have standards that talk about being a good citizen, how and why we follow rules, how and why, what are the rules of our school, which are being responsible. That's what this little star means. And so what ways are we responsible as well? So we try to connect literacy in every single thing that we do. We will be sending out this presentation to you so you can click on these links and see how our day is laid out. So, like I said, we start with the Minnesota state standards to understand what is the goal of what we're trying to get students to have mastery and proficiency in. And then we're using building a cultural understanding and also a community culture and language to really fortify that. Once we have time to explore those things, the grading rubric for elementary students in our district is such. Extends learning, this is pretty rare. Meets grade level expectations, that is the goal. Basic grade level expectations, and starting. We call it starting because these grades can always change. There are always more opportunities to show learning, and we don't have a window for understanding 2D shapes, for example, that ends. There are many opportunities to continue to grow and to continue to show learning, and we can reflect that in these grades. All of this information can be found in Parent Portal. If you have any questions about Parent Portal, I will connect you with some of our experts in this area that can help you with any tech questions. PBIS is a method of teaching positive behavior intervention and supports that our school and broadly our district uses in order to really focus on what are the positive expectations we have here in school. At La Academia, our 3 rules are I am respectful, I am safe, and I am responsible. So you will see and hear us talking about this in every single thing that we do, whether we're talking about characters in books or ways that we can be in the lunchroom in a respectful way. So I ask you to think about what are ways that you can promote these same values at home. And if you'd like to brainstorm together, I'd be happy to do that with you. One of the aspects for this positive behavior interventions and supports is to really notice students who are going above and beyond. Teachers in our school will pass out little paper owl tickets. This is to say thank you for, without prompting, being extra safe, respectful, and responsible. On the flip side, if there is some need for extended reteaching of expectations, we as a school have something called coaching tickets. And this is a conversation we're having right now as a school, how to make sure that we're really talking about it not in a punitive way, but rather what skills are lacking and how can I, as your teacher, help practice those with you so that you can be safe, respectful, and responsible here at school. I have a couple notes about celebrations in health and wellness that I want to share with you. One, our district and our school is not using food celebrations for birthdays. So instead, what we do in our class is we sing them a song. They get to use a special chair. They get to be the leader all day. They get to choose the song for our dance party. So we're really trying to think of non-food ways of celebrating. I also want to extend an invitation for you to please let me know if there are any holidays that you would not like your child to be participating in. That being said, for our Minnesota State Standards, as I mentioned, the learning targets are to look at different cultures and ways that we are similar and different. And so I always talk about things like Day of the Dead or the holidays in December, more from a social studies perspective of this is how some people celebrate and these are ways that it's similar and different, and to really foster that critical thinking and empathy and respect for difference. We are a peanut-free classroom, so another reason why we try not to have kind of food celebrations. Please let us know if your child has any allergies. I think we've heard from all of you. Yep, and I think those are all my notes on that. If you have any questions about celebrations or health and wellness, please do let me know. Finally, some big announcements for important information. Please, I'm sure you've heard about this a lot, but as a personal request from me, please do vote. You can vote early in person or by mail already. Just go to this website. Otherwise, on the November 2nd, there are polling locations listed here. It's truly important that we all use our voice in this matter. And if you have any questions, for example, about the referendum, I'd love to talk with you about it. We believe that it is imperative in order to create strong schools and a community in future. I cannot stress enough how much I support this referendum and encourage you to seek out information. If you're interested in joining our PTO, they're an amazing group who supports us, teachers and students and school community in so many ways. It's an honor to have such a dedicated, passionate group of leadership in our school, and I encourage you to go and listen. They have monthly virtual meetings that you can just listen in on and see if anything is of interest to you. They're very warm and welcoming. Lots of information here and on the second page as well. Like I said, if you'd like to read this, I'd be happy to send this slideshow to all of you. That is a lot of information, so I want to reiterate ways that you can find out information or just revisit this. You will be getting an invitation to your child's Google Classroom. That is what kind of the housing place for a lot of our most important information. We teachers make a week at a glance. This is where you can see what the learning standards are for each week. And as you know, I also send out the monthly newsletter. This is really written in non-teacher language about what we're learning each month and ways that you can support at home. I do encourage you to please try to read the newsletter each month and let me know if you have any questions. Ways that you can get a hold of me through my Seesaw inbox, email, phone, or we can even set up a Google Meet and talk through virtually if you like. With conferences coming up, this is how we will be communicating to one another. So we can also do a practice if you feel any nerves about that. So that is a lot of information, but please, I encourage you to reach out if you have any questions. I am here for you. The biggest thing I want to make sure you know about is that I care about your child very much, and I will do everything I can to make sure that they succeed academically, linguistically, socially, in all ways. We are here together. Thank you very much for watching this video, and please let me know if you have any questions. Take care. Bye-bye.